Welcome back and thanks again for joining us. Now, Workers' Day has been celebrated as a public holiday since the 1st of May in 1994 in South Africa. The nature of the day serves to create awareness and unity both abroad and locally about the plight of the working class, their struggles, they're preserving the human rights of the groups concerned, advocating for equality in the work environment as well, and creating a status quo that reinforce the principles of the International Labour Organization. Now, our guest this morning is John Brand. He's from Bowman Gilfillan. He is a specialist in labour issues. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. You and I spoke, but I think I did mispronounce the name, Bowman Gilfillan, right?
Right.
Good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
You and I are here smiling this morning, having a bit of a chat. But do workers really have anything to smile about?
You know, and I don't think at this moment in time that they do. I think workers in South Africa in the recent past, in the last 2 years or so, have had a very, very rough time. They've had a series of relatively unsuccessful strikes, and the conditions of workers, particularly, for example, on the Platinum Belt, is certainly nothing to celebrate.
In your analysis, you say the issue is not something that can be dealt with, firstly, overnight, secondly, with money, that it's social conditions at the heart of these strikes. Please elaborate.
Yeah, I mean, money is at the base of all of this, but the point that I think I was making to you off air is that I don't think the monetary wage is going to solve this, even if the workers on the Platinum Belt were paid a starting wage of 20,000 Rand. It is not going to immediately alleviate the shocking social conditions in which they live. You need to go to Wonderkop and the Marikana area and see the shocking conditions in which workers live. Very, very poor housing, no electricity, no running water, no sewerage, no streets, lack of education, lack of clinics. That is what needs. The social wage needs to be addressed. And that can't be addressed overnight, and it's not going to be addressed by workers being paid an amount. I'm not for a moment saying that they are earning what they deserve, but I think we must focus on what the real underlying problem is. And whatever happens in the Platinum strike, that's what we've really got to address if workers want to have anything to celebrate on Workers' Day going forward.
Let's talk about those conditions now on the Platinum Belt, the current strike dragging on, you and I chatting about how it's going to end, whether it could end badly or be pear-shaped as we speak already. What do you think about the situation there at the moment?
No, I think it is already a disaster for workers, a disaster for the surrounding communities, a disaster for contractors, suppliers, a disaster for the employers, a disaster for the local economy, and a disaster for the national economy, and it can only get worse. What really needs to happen is for workers to realize that there is no prospect whatsoever of them getting the 12,500 immediately or even in the short term, and that to recover the losses that they've suffered, they would need to get an increase of something in the region of 37%. It's not going to happen. What needs to happen is the strike needs to be called off, and we need to learn serious lessons from this if the working class are going to in any way progress. It's a disaster which just gets worse on a daily basis.
But you're not calling for an end to unions themselves, are you?
Not at all. In fact, one of the things that concerns me is that workers may be so disillusioned with what they've been led into in this matter that they may not only abandon AMCU, which I think there's a strong prospect of doing, but they may turn against unionism itself. And in a free market economy, unless we have strong trade unions that are able to negotiate in a sophisticated and strategic and intelligent way with employers, the system can't be sustained. So not at all. I'm really concerned about the damage that this is doing to unions and collective bargaining.
You've been involved in conflict resolution over a number of years now. How do we bridge the gap or mend the fences between unions, the workers, and the employer? On a table where they're negotiating, how do you make sure that the dynamics work in the favor of all those involved?
I think there are numerous things that need to be done, and one of the primary things that needs to be done is that employers and private employers must stop being considered as the enemy. They must be considered as legitimate parties at the table. Secondly, that negotiation needs to be far more sophisticated, far better prepared for, and the strike right, which is absolutely critical, must not be used as a blunt weapon in the expectation that the use of that alone will deliver benefits for workers. It needs to be cleverly combined with sophisticated union negotiation strategies, which have been seriously absent in recent times.
Well, let's leave it there. Thank you so much. It's been so informative. Thanks for your analysis. That's John Brand is from Bowman Gilfillan, and just focusing on the plight of workers in South Africa. Now, one of my employees, Leanne Manus, is working today, but I don't know if hers is a proper job. I think she needs to get a real day job now, because this is getting ridiculous, Leanne. All the stunts that